Today I'm going to make a very popular dish in the Philippines called Chicken Adobo. The biggest chunk of my audience are men between the ages of 25 and 35. My channel is about the outdoors. I'm 55. I could be your dad. The Bible, I'm going to give you a little bit of fatherly advice. Oh, I think I forgot to clean it. And the wonderful people of the Philippines. You know what the difference is between religion and true Christianity? How many ounces are in a cup? Magka-camping ako.
Not my favorite thing to do.
But there are some really important societal lessons, kain tayo, that we can learn from them. Did I pray? This is going to be the very best chicken adobo I have ever had. Oh, come on, Tatay Dave. What do you mean? You're not even Filipino. How can you make the best chicken adobo you ever had? Well, that's easy. This will be the first time I have ever tried making or eating chicken adobo. Come on, let's go. Magandang tanghali, kaibigan ko. Ako si David Rogel at ngayong araw, magka-camping ako sa Jones Gap State Park sa South Carolina sa Amerika. The campsite today is only about a half a mile from the parking area. So I figured I might as well, since we had torrential rain last night, I might as well bring some dry hardwood, firewood with me. And since it's only a half a mile, I'll make probably 3 trips back and forth from the car. I can bring 2 bundles of firewood. The ground is really wet. We might get a stray shower or a thunderstorm later in the afternoon. It looks like it's trying to clear up a little bit, but I want to set up my so-called waterproof bedsheet tent and use that as just a possible cooking area in case it rains, or just a place to sit and stay dry. We'll see how it goes. When I got here this morning, I was the only car in the tent camping parking lot, probably because of the rain. So I asked if I could check in 2 hours early, and the ranger said I could. Whoa. So here we are. Oh, this is campsite number 4 on the Hospital Rock Trail. Nice. Let me show you. So we have a place for the tent right there, which is a good distance from the fire, so I probably won't have to worry about sparks melting holes in my tent. And wow, it's enough for a whole group of people. And right down here is a little stream. Nice. Very nice. Beautiful. There's no picnic table, but thanks to one of our subscribers, I have something to show you. Today I'm saving all my expensive gear to bring in with me last, because I don't want to leave 2 or 3 paychecks worth of gear out here in the woods and risk having it stolen. I'm probably just being over precautious, but that was hard-earned money. Ang asawa ko, hindi gusto siya magka-camping kasama ako. What would it take to get my wife to come camping? I don't know. She says camping is too uncomfortable.
The camping that I did do as an older person was uncomfortable.
I don't know why she would say that. Just because there's no bathroom?
I don't like hiking to the bathroom when I'm cold.
There are mosquitoes. You smell smoke.
I like campfires though, but I am allergic to them.
You might sleep uncomfortably in the tent.
And just being like lumpy, the bottom, the bed being lumpy and uncomfortable. You did say, however, that maybe I would sleep better because of the fresh air and just being in nature. I doubt it.
It might be too hot.
Well, hot wouldn't be so great either, or rainy would be even worse.
It might be too cold.
And I remember being so cold that I wore long johns that were like one piece, and I had to go to the bathroom so bad, and I was pregnant, and that was awful.
There's no Wi-Fi. I don't know.
You can't escape into a dark room to catch a nap or anything.
I don't get it.
Like being out in the wilderness and the only security you have is that little tent that's not very bear-proof, or I don't know, just seems insecure to me.
That sounds great to me.
I remember hearing coyotes, so yeah, not my favorite thing to do. I like to have a salad every day. Well, you don't want to pre-wash your salad because it will get soggy. So how are you going to clean it out in the woods? And then cutting everything up, yeah. My life doesn't mix with camping. However, I do love being out in the woods and in nature. It's not that I wouldn't go just for my granddaughter's sake, just so she could try it, because maybe she would like it. I would do that.
What is adobo, you might wonder? Well, I wondered the same thing. So I asked ChatGPT, and this is the answer. Adobo is a popular Filipino dish and cooking technique that involves marinating meat, seafood, or vegetables in a mixture of vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, and other spices. We're gonna, Lord willing, make some chicken adobo as a main dish with rice and a Thai mango salad. Sounds good. Well, I spent way too much time on getting this waterproof little cooking area ready. I'm not even going to pretend to know what I'm doing. I always get dinner started way later than I initially expect. This has been hours and hours just getting set up. I hope I can improve and get faster over time. But I want to take a moment now and just thank Tom and Kim, missionaries to Mexico, who gave of their own money a little table to me to take out in the woods, because they didn't want me to put my food on the ground, even though bugs are good protein. They insisted on sending me this beautiful camp table. Let's see, how does it go? Oh. There, a clean place to make our dinner. Nice. Well, we have the stumps, but they're wet and dirty. This is clean. Thanks, Tom and Kim. Oh no. Guess what? I forgot the chicken in the car.
Oops.
Oh. And I can't leave the fire unattended. Oh, I have a little dilemma. It's getting dark. I'm hungry. It'll be a mile to get to the car and back. I can't believe I forgot the chicken. By the way, if you can think of any ideas to get my wife out camping, I'm open to your suggestions. Maybe I'll set up the bed, get that ready. ready for bed. Got my quilt out. Took it out of the sack. Used to fluff up a bit. And I'm going to tell you about dinner. I've changed my mind. Rather than leaving the fire unattended, and since it's getting dark, I think what I want to do is save the chicken adobo for tomorrow. And it's in an ice bag with an ice pack. I think it will be okay. And I can just take my time, and we'll have some sunlight, and we'll be able to enjoy cooking the chicken adobo rather than trying to just rush it or set up lighting in the dark. I don't really like doing that. So I'm going to have to go with my emergency backup plan, which is one of those freeze-dried packages of chili mac. It's only half a package. I hope it's filling enough. I've got some pretzels, a banana, and some water, and I'll just have to make do and look forward to tomorrow. My channel is about the outdoors, the Bible, and the wonderful people of the Philippines. And I just want to talk briefly today about the meaning of life. Have you ever wondered what's your purpose? When I was a teenager, I needed answers. Why am I here? Why was I born? Why is the world here? Why do people die? What happens after we die? Those sorts of questions about the meaning of life. I needed to know, I needed to have that settled. And one day, I was around 12 or 13 years old. I remember laying down on my bed and just calling out to God and saying, God, if you're real, show me. I never went to church as a kid. My parents got divorced and church just wasn't a thing. So I guess that's a good thing in some ways because I wasn't indoctrinated with a religion. I was truly seeking answers, genuine, authentic answers, not just, I wasn't interested in just going through some ritual in some church. I wanted answers to these basic questions of life. How many ounces are in a cup? 8? I think it's 8. Somewhere around there. You know, it turns out that I'm not the only one to ask this question. People have been asking it for thousands of years. And Socrates actually made a statement that I thought was pretty interesting. He said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." The unexamined life is not worth living. What does that mean? You need to examine your life and then it's worth living? I asked ChatGPT, and this is the answer that I got. Where is it? The unexamined life is not worth living means that a life without self-reflection and critical thinking is not a fulfilling or meaningful life. Now, a lot of people live a life of reflection and self-reflection and critical thinking. So I don't think that quite captures, it doesn't provide a satisfying meaning to those questions that I had. How can I, through self-reflection and critical thinking, understand why I'm here, why the world's here, why the universe is finely tuned to sustain life on Earth? We're at the exact distance from the sun. We have all this creation. Thank you, Lord, for this food. In Jesus' name, amen. Not exactly what I expected, but it should work out. How did all this come to be? That's the question. It's really nothing to write home about. Once you've seen one of these meals, you've seen them all. I hope I'm not too hungry tonight. Mix that well. And then we gotta let it sit for a while. I think it said 5 minutes, or then 5 more minutes. So that's where I was as a teen. I was kind of stuck. My mom wanted the best for me, and she wanted me to get a good education, go to good schools, get a good job, make a lot of money, because it seems that she thought that money was the key to living a fulfilling life or a happy life. And that just didn't settle right for me. That doesn't answer any of those questions. Yeah, money could give you comfort. It can let you travel and have nice things, but it really doesn't answer any of those questions. So I was stuck. I wanted answers, but after asking God to show me if He's real, I just kept these questions in the back of my mind and continued my life and listened to my mother, and life went on. Whoops, I got carried away. I forgot to stir the chili for the second time. It should be okay. Not what I was hoping, but it'll do. Later in life, in college, I was studying philosophy, and I studied Blaise Pascal, a French philosopher. And he basically said that people fill their lives with diversions. And let me quote a translation from his book. The only thing which consoles us for our miseries is diversion. I see some truth in that. Right now, for example, you're being diverted from your miserable life by watching this video. And I'm being diverted from my miserable life by going camping and creating this exciting video. Whether it's shopping, eating out, taking vacations, buying a new car, playing video games, reading books for entertainment, watching Korean dramas, whatever the diversion is, we fill our lives with these activities so we don't have to think about the realities of existence. Life is short, they say, live it to the fullest. But that still doesn't answer any of those fundamental questions about life. Why am I here? What is the purpose for my life? What happens when I die? Those are the most important questions of all existence. Oh, I'm trying to think. What's that word for eat? Not kanin. Eat. I know you're saying it. I don't know, it slips my mind. Cotton tayo. Let's eat. Did I pray? Yeah. I find it interesting looking at some of the analytics for YouTube and Facebook that the biggest chunk of my audience are men between the ages of 25 and 35. I'm 55. I could be your dad. In fact, the Filipinos call me Tatay, which means daddy. It's really a term of endearment, and I'm so honored that they think of me somewhat as a father figure. Hopefully I can give you a little bit. I'll put my fatherly hat on, it's already on. I'm going to give you a little bit of fatherly advice. it's okay. It's okay to ask those questions. In fact, if you don't ask those fundamental questions, what are you doing with your life? Just following whatever comes along, whatever entertains? Ask those questions and ask God. Say, God, as I did, if you're real, then show me. And you know what? It took a few years, but eventually God did bring someone into my life. I'm married to her now, who told me, who answered all these questions from the Bible. I never read the Bible before. I didn't know the Bible even addressed those fundamental questions about life, but it does. It has all the answers that we need to live this life and be prepared for living in all eternity. When my wife was showing me the answers to my questions, I said, where does it say that in the Bible? And she would look it up and she would find the passage, and I was able to read it with my own two eyes. And I said, wow, the Bible says that. I'm not talking about having a religion. There are plenty of religions out there. You know what the difference is between religion and true Christianity? Religion teaches that you have to do something to earn God's favor, to earn salvation, to earn a ticket to heaven when you die. But actually, the Bible contradicts that. So who do we believe? Do we believe the church? Do we believe men? Do we believe men who've lived in the past? Or do we believe the divinely revealed Holy Scriptures? God breathed. This is God's Word. I'd rather trust that than what men say. I really don't understand why my wife doesn't like camping. There are all kinds of things that you can do. One more try. Okay, one more. One more. Yeah! Many religions teach that works is what you need to do to go to heaven. But the Bible says that we are saved by grace through faith. What is grace? Grace is God giving us what we don't deserve. We don't deserve to go to heaven because we're all sinners. We all come short. And that's a hard thing to admit, because a lot of people think, some people even think that they are God or a God. But we must have some humility and recognize that we don't have the answers to those questions. We can make them up. But what does that do? That's not genuine. That's not honest. Or we can accept what's been revealed to us in God's Word. That's trustworthy. So there you go. I'm not going to go on and on and on, because this isn't just a video about the Bible, but it also, I hope you recognize and can appreciate that it's not just about the outdoors either. And it's not just about Westerners, bushcraft, camping. It's also about the people of the Philippines, because I've really not only become fond of them, but there are some really important societal lessons that we can learn from them. Their love for family, their sweetness, their humility, their intelligence. I've actually never been to the Philippines. I only know these things through reading books and working with Filipinos in the past. So those are the things my channel is about. Well, I'm all settled down for the night. I'm pretty tired. It must be around 10 o'clock. So overall, it was a pretty good day. Unfortunately, I left the chicken in the car, but we'll take care of that tomorrow. One thing I noticed about myself is that it takes me a really long time to get settled. And I think that's mostly because of all the video stuff. But that just has to be done, so there's not much I can do about that. One thing I would have changed is I probably would not have set up that waterproof bed sheet. That seemed kind of ridiculous looking back. Pretty much a waste of time. If I was going to stay for a couple days, maybe. So I'll ditch that next time. So until the morning, magandang gabi. Magandang umaga. Does coffee pair well with chicken adobo? You know what I'm finding is that the coffee filter method is not working that well. It's taking way too long for it to drip down, and by the time it does, the coffee's cooled off quite a bit. Plus, I can never really tell what level the coffee is at under the filter. So right now my go-to method I think is going to be the straw. And you can watch that on my coffee video, Cape, if you want to search my channel. But right now I want to show you how waterproof my makeshift $5 bedsheet so-called tent is. The fire's just about ready. So to make the chicken adobo, the first step is to chop up this garlic and saute it. But first, I'm going to use some hand sanitizer so that I'm not spreading any germs to myself. Is this kosher? Take my pan. Oh, I think I forgot to clean it from my last pancake trip. No worries. We have hand sanitizer. I hope it'll be okay in this pan. I don't know how much, whatever seems good. So it said to heat the oil and saute the garlic. So I take that as 2 steps. First, we'll heat the oil. There. Perfect. Well, I've got my chicken in this very manly looking bushcraft style cooler bag. And here it is. It's still pretty cool. Great. All right, while that garlic is sauteing, I'm going to chop up a hot pepper. Now, we used to host Chinese students before the pandemic and during the pandemic. And one of them would take those little hot Thai peppers, you know, those, I forget what the name is, but they're super hot. And he would take a bowl of them with the seeds and just eat them by the spoonful. I couldn't believe it. I could hardly eat one tiny little piece. Well, for some reason, I couldn't find those little hot peppers here in South Carolina. I looked at a few stores. I don't know why that is. Thought it was kind of strange, but you make do with what you have. And this is what we have, which is probably favorable because it's not as hot. I'm going to save this one for our Thai mango salad that calls for a little bit of hotness. Yeah, it looks sauteed. Put the chicken in. There. It says to flip it often so the chicken absorbs all the garlic flavor. While that's cooking, I'm going to go and take down my contraption over there. Can you keep an eye on that for me? Let me know if it starts smoking or anything. You know, when you're hiking and camping away from the car, there's a limit how much stuff you can bring. Even my backpack, it weighs, I think, way too much. So I can't carry a cover to my pan. So I thought maybe I could make a cover with this plate and some aluminum foil. Ooh. That chicken wing sticks up. Bugs. There. Peppercorn. Hot peppers. All right, now we're going to make the Thai salad. And the first step is to peel the mango. I don't have any experience with mangoes, so go easy with me on the comments. I'm Tatay Dave. I'm not Chef Tatay Dave. I'm just regular old Joe Schmo Tatay Dave. See? See my new shirt? I like it. This mango seems quite ripe. Now I'm supposed to cut these into nice thin strips. Well, that's not going to happen. I think it's too ripe. But we'll try our best. It's best to get a very green mango that's not ripe like this. This was good when I bought it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, but that was too much time to let it sit and ripen. All right, next we add some shallots. The recipe calls for 2. I'm not sure if I want 2. We'll see. I don't know if I ever had a shallot before. 1 tablespoon of palm sugar. That looks like a lot more than 1 tablespoon. So let's see. 1 tablespoon. Wow, palm sugar is hard. What? How am I supposed to cut that? Wow. Oh, I didn't realize. What do I have to do? Shave it? Maybe I need to dissolve it. Some water. This is looking pretty good. It says to use a lime. Okay, there's some lime juice and some fish sauce. Add 1 tablespoon. I'm not sure if I like fish sauce all that much. Okay, now let's check that sugar. Oh, I forgot to hit record, but I sliced off a bunch of this palm sugar like this and stuck it in this bag with fish sauce and lime juice. I squeezed a lime in there. Sorry, I forgot to hit record. It says to let the sugar dissolve, and then we can pour it on there. Have to rinse it first. I'm running low on water, so I'm just going to rinse it once. Hope that's okay. Now we add about an equal amount of water. All right, now we'll cut up some mint. That should be good. And also some cilantro. Then we add the fish sauce and sugar mixture. And there we have a Thai mango salad to go with our chicken adobo. Oh yeah, beautiful. Well, the chicken didn't exactly reduce like I thought it would, but looks pretty tender. It's the moment of truth. Finally. Thank you, Lord, for this food. Please let it nourish my body. In Jesus' name, amen. Wow, doesn't this look good? Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to eat this Filipino style, but it's a bit too hot. So maybe after it cools down a bit, if I'm still hungry. For now, we'll eat the normal way for us. Here we go. Wow. The chicken is super tender. Has a bit of a hint of sourness. It reminds me of a comfort food. It's comfortable to eat it for some reason. Kind of like beef stew is comfortable to eat when you're camping. This is too. No, too big. All right, let's try the salad now. The Thai mango salad. Refreshing. The mangoes provide sweetness. I can taste the cilantro a bit. It has a little salty flavor from the fish sauce. I think next time I'll add a little bit more mint, but I can definitely taste it. I say this was a success. The pancakes were successful, and now the chicken adobo was successful. Really good. I want to give a shout out to Mark Akalar. I hope I pronounced that right. He goes by Marlu. And I know my Tagalog is pretty advanced, but I run things by him just to make sure I get the grammar correct. So if I sound like a 2-year-old, it's all his fault. Well, thanks for coming with me. That's all for now. Carabao. That's it. Pansit. It's time to go. Chicken adobo. Paalam for now. God bless. And mabuhay!